Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is John Cottrell. This is Power Hour. This is a 60-minute power vinyasa yoga practice. So welcome. If you are practicing with us, make sure you've got your yoga mat ready to go, all rolled out. Now, for this class, I'm not going to be teaching with any specific props, but if you like to use props in your practice, go ahead and grab those, whether it's a blanket or strap or blocks. I have a couple of blocks here. Usually at the end of the practice, I like to sit on a block. It just helps for my sitting and lengthening through my spine. So if you've got some props that you like to use, go ahead and grab those. You might even want to grab some bottled water, and we're ready to go. So this class I've entitled Tiptoe Through the Tulips. And so this is a class that we're going to be focusing on our feet. Now, some of you might have taken this class with me before. This is just kind of a replication of some past vinyasa practices that I've done in the past. But I think this class, because we want to focus on our feet, we think about foundation, balance, stability. But because some of the work we do, we'll also be thinking about our calves as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. Let's begin in mountain pose. So I invite you to stand near the top of your mat with your feet about hip distance apart. You might have your toes pointing forward here. So we're already beginning to focus on our feet, establishing this strong foundation. So at first, if it feels uncomfortable to have your legs and feet in this manner, feel free to maybe step the feet apart a little bit there, or even turn the feet outward, because that might even feel a bit more natural for you. But just be sure you feel balanced on 2 feet, an even distribution of weight. Just want to be aware if you're like settling to the side like this, which we might typically do in a more social situation. So again, standing tall, establishing balance. You might even just roll your shoulders back just to open up through the chest, just to improve your posture as we stand in mountain pose. You can begin with a few deep breaths in and out. You might breathe in deeply through your nose. You can exhale through your nose or through your mouth. Maybe a couple times just doing that to get reacquainted with your breath. And then just find your way to stillness, holding still, breathing easily, gently in and out. You're welcome to keep your eyes opened. You might just be gazing forward or just gazing softly downward. You can even close your eyes. Again, just continue to focus on your breath, tuning in. And since we're going to be doing a little bit with balance, you can even do this with your breath. So as you're able, and if you'd like to do this, let's pay attention to the pace of the breath. For example, as you breathe in, just count to yourself 1, 2, 3, 4, until you've finished a full inhale. And then as you exhale, count 1, 2, 3, 4. So you just want to notice the pace of your inhale and the pace of your exhale. Maybe do that 1 or 2 times. Then after that, see if you can manipulate the breath so that the pace of your exhale matches the pace of your inhale. So for example, if you're inhaling with a pace of 4, your exhale will also be a pace of 4. And do that a couple of times. Nice balanced breath. Just a signal to help bring our whole bodies, our minds, to a place of balance. Go ahead and take 3 more breaths and we'll begin our moving practice together. Whenever you're ready to move, inhale and extend your arms overhead. Reach all the way up and stretch. Now you can still maintain this balanced breath if you like. As we exhale, let's slowly fold forward, so a good hinge from your hips. Bend your knees so you can make your way down, maybe touching your toes. Then inhale, slide your hands up to your knees or thighs, extending your spine, long flat back. Then exhale, back down we go to a forward fold. Just hold here for a moment so you can just start to feel this lengthening through your hamstrings. You may not necessarily feel this in your calves,
but some other postures that will create will help to emphasize maybe a lengthening and stretch quality in your calf muscles. Go ahead and shift your weight back now into your heels. Bend your knees. Feel like you're sitting down into a low chair. Look forward. Then extend your arms out to the side. We're standing up as we inhale, reaching up into the air. And exhale, bring your hands together and down to your heart. Let's just pause here for a breath or two. Let's just repeat that same sequence, our half salute to the sun. Here we go. Inhale, reach into the air. And exhale, fold forward, a good hinge of hips, bent knees, making your way down carefully. Inhale, rise up halfway, sliding your hands up to your knees or thighs, forming that long tabletop. Exhale, fold. We'll only pause briefly here. Weight shift back into the heels, bend your knees, look forward, spread your wings, extending your arms out to the side. As you inhale, reaching up into the air, a big stretch. Exhale, hands together and down to your heart. Let's pause here for a couple breaths and maintain or return to that sense of balance. You might even return to that balanced breathing, paying attention to the pace of the breath. As we practice and maybe come to some holding positions, we'll just remind ourselves of that balanced breath. All right, let's continue with our sun salute. Series A. Inhale, reach into the air, make it a good stretch, reach high. Exhale, lead with your heart, fold forward. Soft knees as you make your way down carefully. Inhale, rise up halfway, long flat back. Exhale, bend your knees enough to bring your hands to the mat so you can step or walk both feet back into plank pose. Hold here. A couple breaths just to establish some energy in your arms, your chest, good lengthening through the spine, good strength building position. Inhale for a little bit more length in the spine. As you exhale, bend your knees a little to send your hips into the air, moving into downward facing dog. Make some adjustments if you need to. You can tiptoe forward a little bit. Maybe take your hands a little wider on the mat. Whatever you need to do to help settle into the pose. Now we can begin some attention to the calves. You can do this by pedaling your feet. So you'll press one heel down towards the ground as you lift the other heel up, and then alternate. You can do this with your breath. As you exhale, press one heel down. Inhale as you switch. Exhale, press the other heel down. Now this is where you might feel some stretching through your calves. But you're also feeling maybe through your toes, especially when the heels lift. Feel that in your toes. All right. One more on each side. Return to stillness in down dog. Full breath in. As you exhale, draw belly in and walk, step, or hop both feet up to the top of your mat. Inhale, extending spine. Exhale, fold. Weights in the heels, soft knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Come all the way up, reach high. Now in this exhale, let's go right away to chair pose, Utkatasana. Hold here, and as we're sitting into the imaginary seat, the weight is shifted back. Your hips are reaching for the back end of your mat. Weights in the heels. You can tap your toes. Try that. As you're reaching out with the arms, this should establish balance. As we breathe in, we lengthen through the spine, and then we exhale, folding forward back down towards toes. Inhale, rise up halfway. Crown leads you forward. Exhale, bend your knees enough to bring hands to the ground, walk, step, or even hop back into plank pose. We'll pause for an inhale. Then as you exhale, bend your elbows to lower your way down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Now you could bring your knees to the floor first if you need to, then your chest. Inhale, upward facing dog, or even choose to do cobra. Then exhale, downward facing dog. We'll take a moment in down dog again so you can return to that pedaling. Press one heel down, then the other. Feel the heels lift to get a stretch and really just getting more mobility perhaps back in your toes. One more both sides and we'll continue. Then inhale, extend right leg up behind you, reaching back, even point your toes, reaching for the wall behind you. Exhale, bring right foot to the top of the mat, landing. Left heel turns to the floor. Shift your weight back into that foot so you feel balanced on both feet. Hands should be light now, so you can inhale, rise up, facing forward. Warrior one, reach for the sky. Exhale, fold, bring your hands back down to the ground, plant them firmly. Slide your right foot back to meet the other, then finish your flow. You can go right into down dog as a shortcut, or come down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, or cobra pose for your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Settle in. Then right away for the other side. Inhale, extend left leg up into the air. Point your toes. Reach for something behind you. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat with a light landing if you can. Right heel plants into the mat. Shift your weight back. Find that balance. Inhale, extend arms forward. Rising up. Heart facing forward. Warrior one. Exhale, folding to come back down to the ground. Plant your hands. Step back. There's plank and complete your series. Again, the shortcut is perfect, or follow through. Full vinyasa if you like, meeting together in down dog. Hold here for a moment in stillness, take a breath. Then we're going to take it to the ground for bridge pose. So feel free just to kneel so you can sit down, or hop forward, cross your legs to take a seat. Sit in the center of your mat, and then go ahead and roll down onto your back. Okay, here we're going to lie down with the knees bent, feet flat on the ground. Let's just hold for a couple breaths, maybe in exactly 2 breaths, and maybe return to your balanced breathing. The pace of the exhale matches the pace of the inhale. When you're ready to take your 3rd breath, we'll inhale really to fill up the lungs. Exhale, emptying the belly. Feel your belly button press down towards your spine as your low back presses into the earth. Then peel yourself up off the ground. All you're doing is pressing your feet into the mat, lifting the hips into the air, preparing for bridge. Now from here, you can do several things. You can use your hands to help lift yourself up, or slide some blocks underneath you to sit on. You can even use your upper body. You might even bend your elbows at 90 degrees, press into the ground to help lift and open the chest a little bit more. I'm even getting my shoulders a little bit more underneath me, even adjusting the feet a little bit, just to make a little bit more space. I like to take my feet a little wider on the mat in a bridge pose, because I feel like it gives me more space, particularly in my low back and hips, and I can rise up a little higher. I'm pressing into the ground with the arms, lifting up through the chest. Now we're going to do this a second time, but we'll pause to take a break in between. So let's go ahead and take one more breath. And after that breath, just wiggle your toes forward a little bit, extend your arms up into the air, and then come back down to the ground. Here, extend your legs forward, long legs in front, and then reach your arms behind you. And if you're able, if you have room, stretch and lengthen in these opposite directions. And let's return to our setup for bridge, because we're going to do it a second time. Bend your knees, feet plant into the ground, and maybe your arms are just down by your side. When you're ready, same thing, fill up your lungs, inhale. Exhale, empty belly, engaging those core muscles, and then once again, peeling yourself up off the ground. Maybe getting your arms and shoulders a little bit underneath you, bending the elbows, perhaps to help you lift. And just feel your body in this position. Both feet planting into the ground. They're actually pressing into the mat to help the legs, your hips to stay in the air. But let's try this. You're going to walk your feet in a little closer towards yourself and then rise up onto your tiptoes. And then maybe even step in a tiny bit closer towards self. So we're rising up on tiptoes, walking your feet closer to self, because we want to maintain a straight line from your knee right down to the ankle bone. You might feel this in your calves because you're flexing your calf muscles in order to keep the heels lifted. And because the heels are lifted, you may have lifted higher. One more breath in and out. And after that, we'll step forward so your feet are flat on the ground again. Extend your arms straight up into the air, then make your way back down to the ground. This time, give yourself a hug. Draw the knees into chest. Feel free to create some movement here to help relieve the back a little bit. A couple of breaths, perhaps. We'll get ready for boat. So you're going to rock forward and back, maybe a few times just to generate some energy. Then as you exhale, a good exhale, rocking your way up to seated so we can come to boat pose. You want to be sure your spine is well extended, nice and long, and then lean back, maintaining that length. As you lean back, the feet should be light enough where they lift right up off the ground. Even flex your feet here, hold on to the backs of your legs, lift yourself up. Now we're getting kind of this V shape in the body, like here. Now you could extend your legs, but you don't have to. Do energize your feet. Let's do this together. First, flex your feet so you're pushing through your heels, and then press through to point your toes. Do it again. Flex, push through the heels, push through, point through your toes. One more time. Flex, point. Good. Stay in the pointed position. Breathe in. We're going to move. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front or even to the side. So you can swing the legs back behind you or hop or step back into plank pose. Hold here. Let's just take a shortcut to down dog. Bend your knees a little. Send your hips into the air. Feel this nice re-extension of spine. Let's continue. Inhale, extend right leg up. Point your toes. Reach. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. We're going to warrior one. Left heel plants into the ground. Plant it. Inhale, rise up. First warrior. Exhale, opening to warrior two. Once you have arrived here, settle into the pose. I like to take my feet a little bit wider, lunging a little deeper, just so I can feel this nice lengthening effect of stretch quality through the inner right thigh. Left leg is straight, pressing into the ground. And just pay attention, even look at your back foot. You can release your arms for a moment. Look at your back foot and press through the outside edge of your left foot. So it energizes the outer portion of the leg. Let's go ahead and take the arms back out. Reach forward. Angled upper body going into side angle pose. So right hand comes down while left hand reaches up into the air. Let's hold here for several breaths. You might even return to your balanced breathing, maybe 1 or 2 breaths like that. And we're ready to move. Breathe in. And we'll exhale, turn towards the ground. Lower yourself carefully to plant your hands into the mat. Step back, plank pose, hold. And again, a shortcut to down dog. Other side, we'll inhale, extend left leg up into the air, point your toes, reach back. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat, light landing. Right heel plants down behind you, shifting the weight back, balanced. So the hands are light, so you can easily rise up warrior one. And your exhale opening into warrior two. Same thing, let's settle in to arrive, lunging a little deeper, outstretched arms, just so you can feel the pose. But you can break pose if you need to, just so you can check in with the legs and feet. Make sure your left knee, toes pointing directly forward, nice opening up through the left inner thigh. Look at your right foot, outside edge, press into the ground. Feel the energy in the outer portion of your leg. Now let's return to warrior by extending the arms. Follow the left arm forward to angle the upper half of the body, and then rotate your arms. Here we are, side angle pose. Holding for maybe 2 balanced breaths. When you're ready, we'll take a breath in, fill yourself up. And exhale, we'll turn, hands back down to the ground, step back, plank pose. You can do that same shortcut to down dog, or go ahead and complete the series. Come down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing. When you're ready, full breath in. Exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet up to the top of your mat. Once you're there, inhale, extending spine. Exhale, fold. Weights in the heel, soft knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Return to standing, reach high. Exhale, hands down to your heart. Well done. Pause here, just take a breath in and out.
Good. You can relax your arms here. All right. Let's get into some balance. Let's take tree pose. So starting again in mountain pose, let's find balance on 2 feet first. And then start shifting your weight over into your right foot. Press strongly into the right foot. Then as you inhale, feel taller through your spine. Breath rising also. Fill up your lungs. Exhale, engage your belly. And then float your left foot up into the air. And then swing the knee out to the side to open up through the hip. And we'll place this foot on the inside of the standing leg. When you're ready, from there, inhale, extend your arms up into the air. And wherever you're reaching, I tend to have my arms at an angle. I like that. It just gives my neck and shoulders more space, but you can have them more straight up if you want, whatever feels good. But you're reaching up, and you want to feel like you're being lifted up, lengthening through the torso, so it doesn't feel like you're collapsing into the pelvic bowl. There we are. Hold, take a breath. Keep your arms extended. We'll swing this left knee forward. Lift the knee with the flexed foot. Plant the foot into the ground now, and you can bring your arms back down by your side. You can even shake all that out. Maybe a little roll of your shoulders, shake out the wrists, a little pedaling with the feet, and we'll get set up for the other side. Back to balance on 2 feet. Shifting weight over into left foot press. Inhale, lengthen spine, get tall, fill up your lungs. Exhale, engage belly. Ready for balance, we'll float right foot up. Right foot lifting, swing the knee out to the side, plug it in. When you're ready, inhale, take the arms up into the air, either straight up or out at a V shape like so. Lifting, like you're reaching to touch the sky. Opening up through the hips, lengthening through the sides of the body. Finding something to focus on out in front of you. Now that's important. It can be directly in front of you, or just drop your eyes, just your eyes downward towards the floor. Maybe you can focus on something on the ground. That can help with balance. Let's keep the arms extended. We'll swing this right knee forward, lift the knee with the flexed foot, flex it. Plant the foot into the ground now. Arms come back down by your side, finishing the flow, and then shake it all out. Roll your shoulders, move your hips maybe in a circle, pedal your feet. All right, let's get ready to flow. We're going back to our mountain pose, ready to go. Inhale, reach into the air. Exhale, let's come back to chair pose, Utkatasana. Holding again, weight shifted back into the hips and heels. Tap your toes, tap. Now breathe in, extend out through the arms. Exhale, dive out of your seat, back down towards toes, forward fold. We're just going to flow. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, bent knees, hands to the ground. Hop or step back, plank pose. Come on down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog, or choose a back bend that feels good there. Exhale, downward facing dog. Once you're in place, inhale, extend right leg up, point your toes. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat, back to warrior one. Left heel plants into the ground. Float your way up. Inhale. Exhale, opening, warrior two. Quick adjustment, settling in. We're going right away to side angle. Reach out, angled upper body, rotate your arms. You might even follow your left arm overhead, reaching more at an angle like this. Inhale, extend through the fingertips. Exhale, turn towards the ground. Fold, bring your hands to the mat. Step back, plank pose, complete your series as you like. Flowing at your own pace. If you're a little bit behind me, that's okay. Up dog, exhale, downward facing dog. We're just moving through a familiar sequence. Inhale, extend left leg up, toes pointed. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel plants, find balance. Inhale, float your way up, warrior one. And our exhale, warrior two. Side angle, reaching out to rotate your arms. Follow the right hand overhead, nice extension. Once there, inhale, reach more. Inhale, that's it. Exhale, turn, hands back down to the ground, and step back into plank pose, completing the series. We'll meet together in downward facing dog. All right, from here, another lunge sequence. So you're going to inhale, take right leg up, again, pointing toes, hold. Now, as you hold this position, still breathing, of course, rise up a little higher
with the left foot. So you're just lifting your heel higher. And then press the left heel down towards the ground. It doesn't have to touch the ground, just lowering, make you feel a little stretch. Inhale, rise again. Hold, so you're lifted a little higher. Now on this exhale, step through. Right foot to the top of the mat. We're going to high lunge. So that back foot's not going to change. We are going to shift the weight back a little bit. All 10 toes are still pointing forward. Extending your spine. You can do that by rising up onto your fingertips like this, extending the spine, and then just hinge your way up, rising up nice and tall. High lunge, reaching up. We're going to hold here. Now we're going to reach up, but lunge lower. To help with balance, because I consider this a balancing position, squeezing the inner thighs towards each other like you have a block between your knees that you have to hold on to. You'll feel the legs energize. Here we're going to inhale and exhale, pivot or turn left heel to the ground, opening up into a warrior two. Right there. Let's reverse the warrior this time, taking right hand up into the air. Nice extension so you kind of get a stretch quality through the right side of your body. Now we're going to windmill all the way down to the ground and just step back into down dog. Both feet on the ground. Let's do the same thing for the other side. So inhale, extend left leg up, point your toes, hold on the exhale. With the right foot still on the ground, rise up as high as you can onto your tiptoes. Heel lifted. And then press down towards the floor with the heel. Notice where you feel that. And then rise up again until you're nice and high and lifted. The next exhale, step through. Left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel stays lifted. We're going to high lunge, but find the balance by pulling hips back. Rise to fingertips so you can extend spine easily. And then rise up, inhale, high lunge. So here we are. We want to make sure everything's facing forward. That's why we're on our toes back there. Reach up, lunge low. Squeeze to inner thighs. Imagine you're holding onto that block. Core engagement as well. Breathe in. Then your exhale, opening to warrior two. Hold. Reverse your warrior. Take left hand up into the air. Nice extension, reach. And then we'll just windmill, bringing the hands back down to the ground. And once again, just step all the way back into downward facing dog. All right, with your next exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet back up to the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthening through your spine. Exhale, fold. Weight shifts back into the heels. Bend your knees. Look forward. Inhale, rise up to standing. Reach up nice and high. Exhale, arms down by your side this time. Very nice. Okay, we're going to go back to chair pose. We're going to add something to our chair pose. So go ahead and do this with me. We're going to inhale, reach into the sky. Exhale, take yourself into chair pose. And as you're sitting back, the weight of the body goes back. That's why it's easy to shift back onto the heels and see if you can tap your toes. So the weight is going back that way, but you keep balanced by reaching out in front of you. Keeping this position, we're going to change this by rolling forward so we can rise up onto tiptoes like that. So the heels lift. Still extending out through the arms. And imagine you've got like a baseball or something like a block perhaps between your ankle bones that you have to squeeze to hold on to. Even feel your big toes press more into the mat. Stay on your toes, but stand up nice and tall like this. So we're on our tiptoes, still feeling like we have something between the feet or ankles to squeeze and hold on to. Because you might, because I'm doing it now, I feel like my weight rolls out to the pinky toes. See if you pull to center towards big toes. All right, bring the heels down, bring the arms down. Whew. All right, shake that out. That's a long time to keep the arms up in the air. All right, do a little stretch for your feet, okay? You can kind of, I like to roll through the tops of the toes, something like that, if that feels good for you, okay? We're gonna do that same little sequence again. Chair pose to tiptoes, we'll call it. Okay, here we go. Inhale, extend arms up.
Exhale, chair pose. We're sitting back, weights in the hips and heels. Tap your toes. Already squeezing towards inner legs. Think about your ankle bones. Then roll through, rise up on tiptoes, squeeze ankle bones towards center. This is also working between the knees, between your thighs. Squeeze to center. Don't forget to pull in belly. Then stand up all the way, nice and tall. We're in an extended mountain pose, but we're on our tiptoes. Reach high, get that lightness in the body. Feel the big toes press inward. Set the heels down, bring your arms down. Shake it out. Wonderful. All right, let's see if we can add that into a sequence, because we're going to see if we can fold forward on our tiptoes, okay? I'm just going to adjust my mat here. All right, here we go. Let's start by inhaling, extending the arms up into the air. Exhale, sit back into chair, weights in the hips and heels, tap your toes. Find it, roll through, rise up on tiptoes, squeeze to center. Good exhale to engage your belly. Stand up tall, extended mountain on tiptoes. All right, now we're going to see if we can flow. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, spread your wings. Bend your knees a whole lot. Start to fold slowly. We're going to a forward fold, but we're still on our tiptoes. It helps to bend your knees a whole lot. Fingertips touch the ground. Inhale, rise up, monkey pose. We're still on tiptoes. Exhale, folding, hands to the ground. Walk or step both feet back. Now when we get into plank pose, you're already on your toes. Now we're going to come all the way down to belly. Chaturanga, but come all the way down to your belly. And then elongate through the legs and feet and toes. So you're pointing your toes, so your toenails are on the ground. Reach. Let's just take a low cobra. Inhale. Lifting here. Inhale again. And as we exhale, let's move into downward facing dog. And of course, that returns your body into this inverted position, and you're on your tiptoes. All right, go ahead and take a rest. Let's bring the knees to the ground. If you're able, sit back into hero, even just very briefly. I want you to feel that lengthening once again through the tops of the feet. Just a couple seconds, and then you can get out of this pose. If you're comfortable in hero pose, you can stay here, because I'm going to demonstrate something. If this becomes uncomfortable, just sit on the ground. Only stay here a couple of seconds, if that's okay, and then sit off onto the ground. So let me show you what's going to happen next. I'm going to come back to down dog. You can just watch me. I'm going to take right leg up into the air, pointed toes. As I exhale, I'm bringing right foot forward, but I'm landing behind my hand. Can you see where my foot is in relationship to my hand? It's behind it rather than up next to the toes. Stay just like that, which may send the body weight forward like this, but I still need to send the body weight back because I need to get my hands off the ground because my hands are weighted here. So I'm just shifting the weight back, and I should be able to slide my hands back very easily because now there's no weight on them. And once you feel like that's the case, extending through spine, arms out to the side, and then rise up. So I end up in this high lunge position, but the distance between my feet isn't as wide as they typically are. Because once I get here, I'm actually going to lift this front heel, lift the heel, and then lunge deeper. And this should feel quite normal, okay, as far as the lunge is, except that you've lifted the heel. And then we'll open this to a warrior two, keeping the heel lifted like that. And then we'll reverse the warrior. Okay, so that's where we're going to be headed. Okay, so let's go back to downward facing dog. This is where you can join me. So coming out of your seated position, downward facing dog. Here we go. Inhale, extend right leg up, point your toes. Exhale, right foot behind the hand. Maybe landing at wrist level or even farther back. If the weight of your body is forward, when you have too much weight in your hands, pull your hips back until the hands seem light. You can easily extend spine, arms out to the side, rise up into this high lunge position because that back heel is still lifted. Reach up,
And then to get into the lunge, lift the right heel and then lunge deeper. Still squeezing the imaginary block between the knees. Because now we've got less stability. We really have to balance here. Inhale. Exhale, open to warrior two, staying on the tiptoes in front. Reverse the warrior. That way we don't put, by going this way, we don't want to put weight onto the knee there. Bring it backward instead, okay? Now go ahead and bring that heel down, windmill, okay? Hands to the floor, step back, down dog, so we can do the other side. Inhale, left leg up, point your toes. Exhale, left foot landing behind the wrist. If the weight is forward, shift weight back, hands are light. Rise to fingertips, extend the spine. Arms out to the side, rise up, high lunge variation. Reach up, lunge low. But then lift your left heel and lunge deeper. Squeeze inner thighs. Focus is forward. Less stability requires more balance. Inhale. Exhale, open warrior two, left heel still lifted. Reverse your warrior. Reach up into the sky. Plant the left heel, then windmill. Hands down to the ground. Step back, downward facing dog. Let's go back to the ground. Take a seat. Hop forward, cross legs to take your seat or kneel down. Sit in the center of your mat. Roll down onto your back. Okay, we're going back to our bridge pose. And of course, we're going to rise up onto tiptoes. Let's do it with flat feet first. Find a comfortable position. Take a breath or two. It could be a balanced breath. Think about that energy of balance that we want to send through the entire body, since we're challenging our bodies by rising up and standing on our tiptoes. Inhale, fill up your lungs. Exhale, empty belly. Peel yourself up off the ground and rise. Get arms, shoulders underneath you. Bend your elbows. Just get into the place that feels good. Rise up onto tiptoes and step your feet closer towards self. See if that allows you to lift higher. Still squeeze the imaginary block between the knees. Feel the big toes connect to the ground, more so than your baby toes. 2 more breaths. All right. We're not going to go down just yet. We're going to see if we can extend right leg up into the air. Point your toes while the left heel still lifted. Now I step my left foot in a little bit to find balance so I can lift this right leg up into the air. Bring right foot down, stay on toes, heel lifted. Extend left leg up into the air, pointed toes. Okay, stay on your toes on the ground, heel lifted if you can. All right, let's bring those toes back down to the ground. Step forward, both feet, so they're planted into the mat. Extend your arms straight up into the air. Now we'll roll down. Excellent. Extend your legs out front. Reach your arms back behind you. And then hug your knees into body and some movement here. And since your feet are free in this position, why don't you just maybe massage the feet? Flex, point, make circles with the feet, just to massage the ankles, because that's another part of the body that we're focusing on or relying on in a lot of this balancing work. The front part of the ankle area, the top of the foot. All right, start rocking forward and back. Good exhale, rock your way up to boat pose. Lengthen spine, lean back, feet lifted, maybe flexing feet. You can still kind of massage the feet. Circles, flex, point, whatever you want to do. You can just keep them in stillness if you want as well. All right, breathe in. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front. Hop or step back, plank pose. Take a shortcut, down dog. Jump, step, or walk, both feet up to the top of your mat. Stay on your feet. Inhale, extend spine. Exhale, fold. Reverse your swan dive. Come up to standing. Reach up into the air. Exhale, arms down by your side. Very good. All right, let's do a similar sequence
As we did before, we rise up onto tiptoes and fold, still on our tiptoes. Let's just go through that sequence again. Here we go. We're going to inhale, extend the arms up into the air, but right away rise up onto tiptoes. Pull into center. Ankle bones, inner ankle bones squeezing to center, big toes pressing into the mat. Inhale again. Exhale, bend your knees a whole lot, then fold, because that should help you with the balance as you're folding forward. Touch ground with fingertips. Inhale, extending spine flat back. Exhale, bend your knees enough to place your palms on the ground. Step back, plank pose. Inhale once you're there. Exhale, come all the way down to the ground, long legs, pointed toes. Take an up dog or cobra. Feel that lengthening through the tops of your feet. Exhale, tuck toes, lift hips into the air, downward facing. Let's inhale, extend right leg up. Let's add a bend and twist here. Bend your knee, flex your foot. Heel comes down towards backside, knee lifting up towards ceiling. Inhale again. Exhale, unwind, step through all the way to the top of the mat next to fingertips, warrior one. Left heel plants into the ground, rise up, first warrior. Exhale, open warrior two. Side angle, reach out. Angle upper body, rotate the arms. Extended left arm overhead, inhale. Exhale, turn, hands down to the ground. Step back to down dog with the right leg or right foot sweeping back and right up into the air. Point your toes this time. Left heel lifts higher, the one you're standing on. Lift the heel. Exhale, right foot up towards wrist. Short stance here. So toes are behind the wrist. Shift the weight back, rise up to high lunge in this shorter stance. Arms up into the air. Lunge deeper, lift right heel. Squeeze to inner legs. Okay, follow me. We're going to hinge forward like this. Hinge forward. We're going to step into chair pose on tiptoes. So bring that left foot forward next to the other, chair pose on tiptoes. Rise up nice and tall. Extended mountain. We're just going to continue second side. Exhale, bend your knees a whole lot. Swan dives. Take your time. This is all balance work. Touch the ground with your fingertips. Inhale, extending spine halfway up. Ooh, that's some balancing work there. You're going to feel the fronts of your legs working. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, plank pose. Inhale for length. Exhale, chaturanga all the way down to your belly. Long legs, pointed toes. Inhale, cobra or back bend. Feel your toenails on the ground. Exhale, downward facing dog. Adjust your feet. Inhale, extend left leg into the air. Bend the knee, flex the foot. Bend the knee, heel comes down towards backside, but lifting the knee up into the air creates a little bit of a hip opener. As you exhale, unwind it, step through for warrior one. So foot is higher up on the mat, right heel plants into the ground, float your arms straight up into the air, warrior one. Exhale, opening warrior two. Taking this to side angle, reach forward, rotate the arms. Inhale, reach high and low. Exhale, turn, hands down to the ground. Left foot sweeps back and up into the air. Down dog, point your toes. Right heel lifts higher. As you exhale, left foot lands behind the wrist. Short stance. Shift weight back. Inhale, rise up, high lunge. Once you're here, lift the left heel, lunge lower. Squeeze legs towards center, engaging those strong legs for balance. Then rehinging forward, getting weight into this front foot, stepping forward into chair pose on tiptoes. Hold. Stand up tall, extended mountain on tiptoes. Find some focus. Heels to the ground, arms down by your side. Whew, well done. All right, we're going to do that same sequence again, same exact thing. But when we make it up to that chair pose on tiptoes, watch me. So here's my chair pose on tiptoes. Standing up tall, what I'm going to do is take it's my left foot, it's probably on your right side, but I'm going to bring the left foot in tight and close to the other leg, and then slide it up the other leg like that and swing the knee outward. So I'm doing tree pose, but I'm still on my tiptoes. Whoa, a lot of balance. Okay. So we're going to play with that. Don't worry if you fall out of the posture. It's not easy. It is not an easy position to be in, but that's our little challenge at the end of the sequence. Okay, back to mountain pose. All right, let's find that connection to the earth, both feet planted into the mat, even distribution of weight. Let's take a pause. Find your breath, find your balanced breath. Exhales, or the pace of your exhale matches the pace of the inhale. Here we go. Inhale, take the arms up and rise up onto tiptoes at the same time. Squeeze to center. Exhale, bend your knees a whole lot so you can fold forward with ease. As you're still on tiptoes, touch the ground. Inhale, monkey, slide hands up the legs. Exhale, back down, hands on the mat, step. Both feet back, plank. Come down, chaturanga, or all the way down to your belly. Long legs, pointed toes. Up dog or cobra on the toenails back there. Then tuck your toes, downward facing dog. We're going to warrior one. Inhale, extend right leg up. Bend the knee, flex the foot. Open up through the hip. As we exhale, we step through. Warrior one. Left heel plants into the ground. Rise up. Join me when you're ready. Warrior two. If you're slightly behind, that's okay. Side angle, reach out, rotate the arms. Follow left arm overhead, reach, nice extension, inhale. Exhale, turn, hands to the floor. Back to down dog. Sweep the right foot back and up, point your toes. Rise up onto tiptoes on the left foot, heel lifted. Exhale, step, right foot to wrist level. Rise when you found that balance to high lunge. Once you're here, lift right heel, lunge lower. Squeeze to center. Hinge forward, 45 degrees. Step left foot forward, chair pose on tiptoes. Stand up tall, extended mountain. All right, now here's that tree pose challenge. Still on tiptoes. Just shift your weight a little bit to your right foot and then slide the left foot up against slide left leg up against the right. Slide the left foot up the leg, swing knee out to the side. Still on tiptoes, you might be wobbling, I am. Then plant that heel down into the ground. Okay, so you should be in a more solid tree pose. Turn left knee forward, bring foot to the ground, plant it, arms down by your side for a quick rest. Take 2 or 3 balanced breathing poses. That's the first side. Reconnect. Whenever you're ready, inhale, take the arms up into the air, rise up onto tiptoes, hug to center line. Swan dive, bend your knees a whole lot to help with this fold while on tiptoes. Touch the ground. Inhale, monkey pose. Exhale, bend, plant the hands. Step back, plank pose. Come down, chaturanga, or all the way down to your belly. Long legs, pointed toes. Inhale, up dog or cobra. As you exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, extend left leg up, flex the foot, bend the knee so you can lift that knee for a hip opener. Exhale, unwind it, step through. Warrior one, plant the heel behind you, rise up, first warrior. Exhale, open, warrior two. Side angle right away. Rotate your arms, extending right arm overhead. Inhale, nice extension. Exhale, turn, hands to the floor. Back to down dog, slide left foot back and up into the air. Point your toes, right heel lifted. All right, as you exhale, left foot comes to wrist level. Short lunge. Shift the weight back so hands are light so you can easily rise up into your high lunge. Then once you're there, lift left heel, lunge deeper. Squeeze to inner thighs. Hinge forward. 45 degrees. Step forward, chair pose on tiptoes. Squeeze to center. Rise up tall, extended mountain. Tree challenge. Shift weight a bit to left foot, still on tiptoes. Bring the right foot in against the left. Slide it up the leg. Swing the knee out to the side. Whoa. Lots of wobbling here. Hold, then set the heel down. Regular tree pose. Right knee swings forward, plant the foot, arms down by your side. Reconnect, rebalance, balance breath, 2 or 3 breaths. Very nicely done. That's not an easy sequence. All right, let's make our way back down to the earth. We're going to take our time very slowly, keeping both feet rooted into the earth. Inhale, both arms up into the air. Take your time. Slow motion here. Exhale, spread your wings, fold forward, bent knees. Monkey pose, long spine. Exhale, fold, bring your hands to the ground. Step back, plank pose, hold plank. Take a shortcut to down dog. Hold for a breath. We're going to child's pose. Bring the knees down to the ground. You can even take the knees a little wider here. Then sit back into child's pose. Not only is a nice resting space, but it might even give you a little lengthening through the tops of your feet. This is another wonderful opportunity to come back to balanced breath. Bringing balance back into your body as you hold in stillness. Having gone through a very challenging flow there that certainly challenged our balance, we can come to a more secure space to reestablish a sense of balance. Go ahead and take 2 more balanced breaths. And after that, we'll just rise up slowly to hero, just very briefly. Sit off to the side. Swing the legs around to the front, sitting in the center of your mat. Roll down onto your back, give yourself a hug. And again, since the feet are free, maybe some more circles, flex and point. From here, you're welcome to move into a twist. We'll bring knees down to the left side, extend right arm to the right side. Our balancing work certainly involves a lot of core strength. Not only does that involve the front side of the body, but that's your back side of the body. So getting into a twist might even bring some relief to your low back. Because those lunges that we were doing, especially the high lunge, has a back bend effect to it. Two more breaths. Again, an opportunity to come back to balanced breathing since we're holding these poses. Come back up to center when you're ready. Pause and center to reestablish balance and alignment. That's maybe just a breath or two. And then knees down to the other side. Slow, deep breaths, maybe balanced breathing. Let's return to center. Choose a hip opener that you enjoy doing. I'm going to do reclining cobbler's pose. You can do happy baby pose or reclining cobbler's pose. I'm going to do the more traditional version first, then the more relaxing version. So the more traditional version, we hold on to the feet while the soles of the feet press together. And I'm gently sending the heels down towards the pelvis. My knees are pushing forward, and that opens up the hips. I'm going to take 2 or 3 breaths doing that. Again, you could be doing happy baby pose if you enjoy that posture. Then from here, I'm setting the feet down onto the mat. Feet are still touching. Soles of the feet are still touching. And this is a little bit more relaxed. Balanced breath. Noticing the pace of the breath. And the pace, it could be any number. You can even be counting quickly. You can be counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or slow. 1, 2, 3. So whatever pace of counting is fine, just as long as it feels balanced. After your hip opener, feel free to take any other pose that you would enjoy doing to help complete your practice. That might be another bridge pose, going back to twists, even an inverted posture. You can even do something simple like this by extending both legs in the air as you're still lying flat on your back. Okay, you can do a shoulder stand, moving into plow from there if you'd like. This is fine here too. Or if you're ready for Shavasana, go ahead and take your final relaxation posture so you have a nice long meditation period during your Shavasana. In whatever position you take, whether it's Shavasana or any other restorative posture, see if you can come to full stillness, really settling into the ground. Get all the fidgets out so you can come to complete stillness, silence. So you can feel this ease through the mind and body. The only real movement is the breath. And of course, the breath causes the body to move a little bit more naturally. Balanced breath. You're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. Just settling into the ease of your mind and body. Slow, steady breaths. Even as I start to come to closure of our practice, you're welcome to stay just as you are lying in your Shavasana. And whenever you are ready to move, start that movement with 5 deep breaths. Feeling movement begin to return to your body. And then after your 5th breath, moving yourself in slow motion, roll onto either side, perhaps into a nurturing pose, or here you might pause for one more breath. And then use your hands in a next breath to rise up to seated. Find a comfortable seat. If you're still in Shavasana, that's great too. You can end your practice there. Sitting up nice and tall if you are in seated with your arms just down by your side, hands resting in your lap or on your knees. Take one more breath. Then inhale, extend your arms up into the air. Really extend, reach for the sky. Exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. And once your hands are at heart space, take one more breath in and out. Nice. And as we complete our practice together, we bow saying Namaste.